So kia ora tātou, kia ora everyone. Welcome to my video. Crazy Rua here. We're here to speaking. I'm just talking about, really want to talk about the workshop 12, anatomy gifts, anatomy ascension. And so I think it is that time to share the knowledge that's been handed down, and not just the knowledge that's been handed down, but all being downloaded for me to experience and share to those that are interested. Okay, so um, we're looking at the anatomy gifts. A lot of people, okay, first off, a lot of people concentrate too much on the spirit side and on the soul and on the mentality side. And so the only nearest thing that they actually look at is the energies of Reiki, colors, and that fit in the physical body. But there's also a few other things that we need to understand, and that's about um, the speech or the voices of the bone, and the flesh, the muscle mass, and how we communicate with both, and how the gifts are provided. And so when we talk about spiritual downloads or ascending gifts, downloads or ascension, and you're walking that path, um, we're talking about anatomy ascension as well. So in one hand, when you're going through those steps and those stages or those walks, there's always a storm. There's always a storm lurking above you, because it's all a phase. It's all a blur, and so the future doesn't let you know. You have to walk it daily in your present. And so with that impact, you also got to your physical side. So your muscle and your bone needs to catch up with that mass of ascension and acceptance of gifts. And so when we look at the muscle and we look at the bone, they hold the pockets or the vessels of obtaining your gifts. Because if they can't, so if your gift is so large, so if you got downloaded 10 new gifts, they've got to go somewhere in your physical side for you to cope. And some say that upstairs, the keepers of knowledge and the keepers of gifts, that brings it down to you through your higher self, they say they would only give enough for your flesh and your bone to carry. And so that's perfect how it's been said, and it does work that way. It does work that way. But on top, what stops that download and what makes the download so painful and physically painful is because you haven't released the old. So you haven't released or filtered things that don't need to be into your future and doesn't need to be in the now. And so we get issues. We get issues developed, and we get emotions. And so we go into the belly or the core of emotions. And so the emotions, when they're being ruffled, to come up through the heart, to be dissolved and filtered, and then out to the voice to be released, and the brain to surrender it. So you have those issues. So they're called baggage. Crazy Rua calls it baggage. And so with this workshop is about understanding your strides and understanding your walks in this new path or this new journey of awakening. You have to realize that you have to filter the burdens, emotions, the pains, the baggage, as I say, for you to receive, as we are at this moment. Downloads are coming fast, and they are not worried about your physicality and your mentality. Yeah. And so therefore there's some of the outputs of that when you don't do what you need to do and you leave it there. Heartache, pain, doubt, and blame. That's the biggest thing, is about blame. Blame everybody else but yourself. But when you say you blame yourself, but really you actually blame another person, so that becomes a grudge. And so all that's not needed anymore. No matter if you did the mistake or another person did the mistake, it is not needed for 2019. Definitely not. And so therefore my sharing of this is trying to allow you to understand what measures that you need to take to accept. And so again, you have a choice. You have a choice to follow what's right, or you have a choice to follow what's best. And so for me, I've opted up to do what's right, even though the challenges and all that came to face up to me to challenge, as big tests they are. I still walked on the right path to get where I am today. And so I'm sharing this of experience and sharing this of success to this stage. Don't forget, moments I could actually go back into another challenge that I have to face. And those are all about self-development and higher self-leadership. And so now, thank you that it's all led by higher self now. It's not all earthbound. It's not all dimensional 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm allowed now, and thank you, to go to 5 and up to 10 and up to 12 and so forth. And also the planes, to understand the different planes that happen daily and nightly, and to communicate, keep the communications definitely open for upstairs. Okay, so now just for the anatomy gifts, when you look at the chakras, they do fit into the spines of the person, and if you really have a look, the length from the collarbone right up to the skull. And so these are one of the main parts that there are main parts that a lot of people fall into issue and into pain. And if we don't deal with our pain and understand it and accept it and then say thank you for it to let it go, you are forever going to have that pain. It's actually going to be a chronic pain or even worse. And so when we don't listen, then we walk into the stages of disease, physical disease. And whatever disease it is, it's all part of that, just not listening. So I'll just stop here just to give you a bit of insight about this workshop 12, and just hopefully it resonates with you. And if you're interested, just go to my website, www.crazyrua.com, and you'll see what it is. It is a paid workshop, because other than that, I do free readings and healings with donations. So this one's another step, and if you're interested, book in. Kia ora.